Isn't he handsome?
Looks very nice.
Cool. This is my,
Yes.
nice shirt. This is my Mexico club.
Oh.
Are we good? Okay. Very good. All right. Welcome. Come on in. Grab a seat. Cozy, cozy. Hey. Good to see you. Nice you made it. All right. Nice. Good morning. Everybody get some coffee? Get some treats? Did you get any coffee, Lexi? Good. Is it a Justin Bieber sweatshirt? Did you go to the concert? Nice. Nice. Did you go by yourself or did your mom go with you? Oh, they took you. Nice. All right. Boy, you got the cushion. You got the, yeah. See, those are reserved seats. So, very good. You got an email from Janice saying she's having a party. Don't open it. Just saying. She's not having a party. Okay. Don't go to it. So, all right. So, if we haven't met yet, I'm trying to see who's all here. My name's Dr. Joe. I've been in this place, my wife and I, for the last 33 years.
Yay.
We've been around the world teaching this message. And it's interesting. I would like to not be a broken record. I would like to say something different. But the deeper and deeper and deeper we go with what it means to be healthy, happy, and strong, it goes back right to what we're going to talk about today. I don't know when my last workshop was, but I took a break because there's some brain damage that happens when I try to prepare all this and make sense and try to say something and do something that people want to hear. And they used to go like for hours. I couldn't believe it, right? I had that much to say. So I took a break. And I just said, all right, let's regroup, let's listen, let's heal, let's see what's going on. Because again, we've been doing this for 33 something years. And I had to step back, especially during COVID, and go, what have I been saying and what have I been doing and what have they been hearing? Because it seems like everybody else is getting sicker and sicker and sicker. And especially children are getting sicker and sicker and sicker, right? Would we agree? It's not necessarily getting better. Now, in this office, we're seeing amazing miracles every day. We're seeing life changes every day. So the problem is why am I not seeing out there what we see going on in here? And what do I need to do and need to change and adapt with? So I've changed. I've trained. I have rewired my brain. I should be really good at telling you what to do. But like my kids, I know what I said, but what did they hear, right?
Right.
Then I would coach you. See, the problem is in college, I was a Division I wrestler. So my coach said, Joe, get your head out of your butt. Okay, sir, yes, sir. That's love to me. Not everybody sees it that way. So there's this whole concept of being a guide. Like I'm more like Gandalf or like Yoda or Obi-Wan Kenobi. You all are now like Luke Skywalkers. And I can't really tell you what to do. You're going to do your own thing anyways, but I can try to somehow influence you and show you and teach you and just guide you along the way, you know. And if I love you so much, sometimes help you along the way, right? But really, over the next hour, I used to joke, 8 hours, ha, but it's not funny, my wife says. They don't know you're kidding. So I've had a lot of time to reflect. So I really hope you go, wow, that was a different message. Because this message isn't so much for me, it's for where our world is going. And my first and foremost in my heart is make sure you don't have to go there. You don't have to go there. But how many other people can we take with us in the right direction? Can I get a Yahoo? Make sense?
Yeah.
So we call this the gut-brain connection. Basically, okay, if you're not eating, sleeping, or pooping on a regular basis, I'm going to help you today. That's really what it's all about. So, that's me. You say to your friends, well, my chiropractor. Well, why do you go see a chiropractor? Does your back hurt? No. All I know is since I've been getting adjusted, I don't get strep throat anymore. And all of you have your stories, and you try to tell your friends, but they're like, back cracker, my problem, I don't need them. So I'm trying to build that gap. So tell them, no, he's a neuro-focused pediatric family chiropractor. That's really what I've always been, but now I'm trying to find the new language to say, oh, no, I'm cooler. right? I'm not necessarily what you see on YouTube all the time, although there's some moves I do here, but I don't pull out the camera and videotape it. And again, all I've done over the last 37 years, my wife and I, has been neuro-focused chiropractic care. Not spine bending, but brain nerve system whispering. Like a nerve whisper, like a horse whisperer, nerve whisperer, right? Good luck trying to force your way on a horse, right? Or an SUV, or a ATV, yeah. And here's what makes me really cool with age, is that I've done this over 500,000 times with adjustments. I've been to 2 Olympics. I've been around the world teaching this, right? And the other reason why I haven't done workshops this last year and a half is turning 60 was hard on me. I didn't realize it. I just thought I was getting old, crotchety, and pissy. Like you do as you get older. But there was just something, and I really tried to hide it. Some of you are like, yeah, there was something going on there. But it's like, and as I've been just working through, right? About 3 days or 4 days ago, the Lord just said, yeah, you didn't do so hot turning 60. And I didn't know what I was in the storm until I came out of the storm. So now I'm ready to go the next 10, 20 years. Right? Let's go. Game on. Ready to go. Right? So you're getting a different kind of doctor already. Right? Does your any of your doctors have man buns? See? At 60. Right? And I'm keeping the tan. I like it. So, all right. So question 1. This is 3 things to start goal today as I ramp this up. First one. This thing is slow today. Where are you today? Where are you? Why are you here? Why did you give up your Saturday morning? Tell me, just start yelling at me things that you hope to learn today or find out. All at once. What do you want to learn today?
Something new.
Something new. Okay? What else? How to eliminate toxins. Okay? Very good. What else?
Continually get healthier.
Keep getting healthy. Yep. Because you guys are like ninjas here. You're my people here. Right? I did this talk last month to completely new people, and they're like, so, you're my people. We can have fun. So, get healthy. What else? What made you get... I know it wasn't just the free coffee. You want to sleep better?
The gut.
The gut? Yeah, gut-brain connection.
Yep.
Connection, yeah. Which I translate, you're not sleeping, or you're not eating, you're not pooping, so you're not going to admit that, but that's why you're here. Right? And you didn't know it was important. You thought it was normal not to sleep at night, or not to have a good relationship with food, or not pooping on a daily basis, or 2 or 3 times a day versus once or twice a week. Maybe that's something new you can learn. So here's the thing. Why you're here is why I'm doing this talk. I'm already working on my sleeping, eating, and pooping. My wife and I we're working on our stuff. Now, what are we doing, and how can we help you? So, follow me. Today, this might be where some of you are at, or someone in your family, or a child, or a loved one. They're not happy. They're not sleeping. They're not eating. They're not pooping. Their gut-body connection is going haywire, and it's affecting their relationships with you, or it's affecting your relationships. It's affecting your marriage because you don't want to leave the house. It's affecting your children. Your children's the center of the family now because they're not happy. You're not able to work. You're not able to play. You're not able to be the person you thought you would be at your age. Turning 60, right? I had a wrong scoreboard, right? Right? So this is where you're at today. And I want to think, say, or do something to help you start over here. That's what I want. Call it what you want, right? But this is where we're going to go. From taking you or someone you love, someone you know, from here to here. And I'm going to guide you on that journey. I was such a teller that this whole guide thing about leading you, I literally am like, I don't know if I have that chromosome. I really don't. And I just had to pray. And then the Lord's like, yes, you do. This. Remember you did this? Yeah, you're guiding. Remember you did this? Yes, you're guiding. So, really, and those of you who've been with me a long time, you're like, it's about time you listen to your wife. So, and this is my dad. This is my father. My father, you know, he lived his whole life here, stuck, and he couldn't get out. He worked for a motor company and got blood pressure. The blood pressure, went to the doctor, here's your medication.
Yeah.
Never did anything to find out why to get healthy. Then that blood pressure turned into heart issues. That heart issue turned into ambulation. Ambulation turned into bypass surgery. And the medication he was on then, right, he's still stuck, not healthy. Then turned into depression, and then to diabetes. And again, every time, here's a medication, here's a medication, here's a medication. Didn't do anything to his connection, but just kept medicating the symptoms. But the whole problem was they promised that he would be unstuck, living the dream life, and he just kept getting more and more and more and more and more locked into his world. Stuck. And then finally his kidneys failed him from being on the 17 different medications.
Gosh.
And because he lived in Michigan in 2020, he died of COVID.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody did.
Cool.
So my father spent 80 years of his life stuck, hoping that someone would set him free, and he died that way.
Mm.
And again, welcome to America. And I don't want that for any of you, and I want to help you get better. See, I love being here. So like Haley, right? She had a traumatic birth. She had a stressful birth. Her nerve system's already stressed out. And because you're stressed out, I'm not yelling, Eileen. I'm excited. I'm not used to this new tone coming out of my voice. So, as the stress on her kept getting more and more, she stopped sleeping through the night as a baby. She stopped pooping. She got really picky and stopped eating.
Goodness.
And then because of all of that, things no longer drained, and they started backing up into her ears, nose, and throat. And then she was sick all the time. And so you go to doctor, and they just, whatever they do, again, it's not a bad, it's just an incomplete system. Okay? And they started losing her daughter. Like, who is this child? She's not, she's fading away. When we met her, we looked, we found out what was wrong. We started fixing that cause of that problem. And slowly her life, she was stuck. She wasn't herself. We found what was causing it. And now she went on a journey, and now they have her daughter back.
Yay.
That's what I want for all of you. And a lot of you are already on that journey. But once we're here, if we're not careful, we're going to get dragged back over here and stuck in another thing. Okay? So my goal is for you to be here, unstick you, let you live here, and then teach you how to live here in this land of health and healing and strength. And forget what they say. Only when it's in a health emergency do we need to listen over there. Okay? So that's Haley's story. And again, there's tons of books that cover the science of why what we do works. The mind-gut connection, how hidden conversations with our bodies impacts our mood, because that's attached. Because if you're not pooping, you're not in a good mood. If you're not sleeping, you're really grumpy. And if you're afraid of what to eat or go out to eat, then that's not a good place to be either. Okay? And then this one, gut and the psychology syndrome, it talks about how this gut-brain connection, when it's happy, then there isn't dyspraxia or autism or ADHD, but when it's stressed, right, and this gut-brain connection is stressed, then that's where the dyslexia, the ADHD, schizophrenia, and depression, and autism, and dyspraxia again, that's what we grow into. Hi, come on and have a seat. We grow into that. You're going to hear me say it. Lots of times with kids or adults, they'll say, oh, don't worry, you'll eventually what? You'll grow out of it. That's a lie. It's not true. You grow into something different. Right? Women, you married your husband, you thought you could change him? Did he grow into Prince Charming, or did you have to keep working on him? Okay, it's a bad joke, but there's some truth in there somewhere. So, let's talk about autoimmunity, because again, if you're not eating, sleeping, or pooping, that makes you sick. If you're sick for a long time, then you have an autoimmune disorder or disease. So, who can tell me what an autoimmune disease is? What does that even mean? The word autoimmune. Yes?
Means your body's fighting itself.
Your body's fighting itself. Okay? That's a good answer. That's correct, close. Anybody else want to add? Your immune system is literally attacking you. It sees you as, it doesn't feel safe, and now it has to kill and destroy whatever it sees as an invader. It's doing the opposite of what God designed it to do. And so there's over 100 different autoimmune disorders out there. So your immune system starts attacking your thyroid, thyroiditis, Hashimoto's, Graves' disease. Your immune system attacks your bones, so you have rheumatoid arthritis, ankylosing spondylitis. I've been a doctor a long time. I can say those words, they roll off my tongue.
So you know the Greek. Huh?
That's right, I'm very Greek. So when your immune system attacks your muscles, polymyositis, myasthenia gravis. When your immune system attacks your skin, you get psoriasis, vitiligo, eczema, scleroderma. When your immune system attacks your lungs, then you get pulmonary fibrosis and granulomatosis. When your immune system attacks your brain, that's when you get multiple sclerosis, Guillain-Barré syndrome, PANS or PANDA stuff. And that's more of a fancy, cool pediatric term. Oh, my child is going to a panda doctor, right?
Oh boy.
Okay. Do you know what kind of cookware pandas use? Pans. Duh. You're going to learn how laughing is good for your baby tongue, right? There you go. When your immune system attacks your blood, that's where leukemia and lupus comes from. When your immune system attacks your gastrointestinal tract, you're good. That's where you get celiac, ulcerative colitis, and type 1 diabetes. Gut-brain connection. Mm-hmm. When your immune system attacks your nerves, you get peripheral neuropathy, right? And diabetic neuropathy in your feet, in your hands. And so let's just all agree that this doesn't have to happen. Your immune system isn't supposed to attack you. It's supposed to protect you.
Yeah.
But if it's attacking you, you don't grow out of it. You just grow into more chronic disease, which we're going to talk about that in a minute. And so this doesn't supposed to be there. Does it make sense that you are fearfully and wonderfully made to be healthy? Mm-hmm. Yes. Not sick, right? Well, then why am I? We're going to get to that. But I'm just here to tell you, newsflash, you're not supposed to have any problems with sleeping, eating, or pooping. You're not supposed to have any of this going on. It's not your genes. It's not bad luck. It's not because God's mad at you. You're going to learn the specific reason why this is happening in your body or someone you love, and then what you can do about it to unstick yourself and start going the right direction. This book here, one of the books we used for science, women, you need to be aware of this, women, that 1 in 69 women below the age of 50 will be diagnosed with cancer, breast cancer. But what's even worse, because of this gut-brain connection, 1 in 9 women are going to have a hard time with autoimmune illnesses, one of those 100. And it's happening sooner and sooner and sooner. So be careful, women. We've really got to get you unstuck and get you healing and empowering you to eat better, not eat better, to be able to have fun eating, to sleep at peace, and be pooping on a regular basis. Right? Okay. Because right now in America, you're not the only one. It's getting worse. Right now in America, over 100 different autoimmune diseases, over 100 different names now, how your immune system can attack you. And it's getting worse. Do I retire? Are you kidding me? There's too many suffering people out there that we can help. Because it's getting worse, not better. People are getting stuck more and staying stuck. And then 75% more prevalent in women. Why? Because they're the one that's doing all the work. They're the ones doing all the mothering. They're doing all the stress. It's all about them, right? If a tree falls in the forest, they feel somehow it's their fault. Okay? And then what happens is as this autoimmune issue gets worse, or we're not sleeping, we're not eating, we're pooping, it backs up and now it starts to affect us emotionally. And then depression starts to go out of control. And we don't know why. Then anxiety, where the bear starts to chase us. Our nerve system gets flipped over to the bear is chasing us. And the problem is that as children start getting more stressed out, now even more children now are having issues with sleeping, eating, and pooping. And the problem is that they're all now being stuck. Women are not somehow being able to be set free and empowered. Women are now being stuck more in this depression and now that becomes their new home. Or children now are coming in that depression home, that fog. Is this making sense so far? Over them. And again, we got to do something different to get well. And then what happens is that we don't grow out of it, we grow into other things. Just like my dad, he didn't grow out of blood pressure problems, the medication, then this, and that's the journey you're on unless we do something different. Ergo why the workshop's here today. Okay? So chronic illness, what happens is that as your immune system attacks you, because you're not sleeping, eating, or pooping on a regular basis, and your gut-brain connection is in trouble, then we start seeing the increase in cardiovascular disease. That was my dad. Cancer, because your immune system, when it's happy, your cancer cells don't grow in your body. But when your immune system doesn't feel safe and it's attacking you, it makes cancer cells grow as a side effect to try to kill off what's going. Your cells refuse to die. It's called autophagy. And then you get COPD, where you can't breathe in your lungs. Again, your body's going down a road it was never created to go. Asthma, diabetes, arthritis. So you chronically have this, and they tell you once you have this, you have to have it for how long? Forever. You don't have to. That's what they say. I see you fearfully and wonderfully made. I see you in your full potential. As your doctor, I don't see you broken. I see what's possible for you. And when I look at your information, I go, that is not what they were created for. We need to get them unstuck and going in the right direction. Okay? And the problem is that now, as this chronic illness continues now, not just go to adults, that now it's spreading to children. And that's why we are helping more children and more families in this office. And we focus on more children and more families so that we can help them get better. Because no one deserves to be stuck in this jail cell of sickness and disease, whatever you want to call it. So why, Dr. Joe? Why am I there? How did I get there? I said my prayers. I did the 23andMe. I don't have bad genes, right? Why am I there? Okay, so this is where I am. This is where my dad was. This is where Haley was. Now that we know what's going on, why are we there? Because if we know why we're there, then we can go here. We can stop doing whatever we're doing, and we can go this way. The problem is we're told, oh, it's your genes. There's no hope, right? Or, you must have done something wrong, or you just, bad luck to be you. Here's your meds, here's your da-da-da-da. And again, I'm not against it. It's just incomplete. It's not telling you the whole story. They're not reminding you that you should be living here. And yeah, you may have a day or a season here, but we should rebound and go back to here. And that's what I want for you. So, sometimes you're not aware of why. And if you haven't seen this video before, then just watch it. If you have seen it, stay quiet and just watch the video.
This is a test of selective attention. Count how many times the players wearing white pass the basketball. How many passes did you count?
Okay, give me some answers.
13.
14.
Oh, I said 7.
15.
Nice.
But my real question is,
Correct answer is 15 passes. But did you see the gorilla?
Yes.
Yes.
In the middle of the room.
you all saw the gorilla?
Yeah, I saw
He was in the way.
She was right in the middle of everything.
I didn't see the gorilla the first time I did this.
This video is searched by Daniel Simon.
it.
So my point is that it may not be obvious to what we need to do to get yourself back on track. back to sleeping, back to eating, back to pooping, this, all that entails. So let's talk about what systems we need to be aware of. So you have your car, right? Now, what kind of parts are there in a car?
Well, how
Electric
detailed-
parts, motor,
Steering wheel.
steering wheel,
Computers.
yeah, okay? And then there's power, right? Or there's gasoline that makes everything go,
Unless it's electric.
unless it's electric, right, or hybrid, right? But then there's also information. And where does that usually come from? The driver, right, or electric, it depends on what it is. But the driver, okay? The driver. So a mechanical system needs parts, power, fuel, information. Now, what about a computer? Okay? Let's back up a second. What if I put a 2-year-old, as far as information, driving this car? How's that going to go?
Bad.
Very well.
So if the information system goes bad, this doesn't work like it's supposed to, right?
Mhm.
So now to the computer, what kind of parts does a computer have? Memory chips, right? Programming, keyboards. What else?
Electricity.
Electricity. So
LEDs for visual.
there you go. So the computer system needs parts, power, and information too, right?
Yep.
So what if someone puts a bug in the computer? How's that information system going to work? Not good, right? It's not going to work like it's supposed to, right? And so all these three need to be working together in order for everything to function like it's supposed to. Now, what about the human body? What do living systems need to work properly? Parts, power, fuel, or information, right?
Mm-hmm.
Parts, power, information. So, we live in a world where healthcare is, well, you go to your part doctor. You go to your GI, you go to your lungs doctor, your ears, nose, and throat, you go to your knee, you go to your foot. So, you have part doctors. So, when your part's not working right, that's where you go, okay? But power, you have your functional nutrition and try to go gluten or dairy free or change over, the advanced plan, whatever, right? And that's fine too. But where do you go for the information? Who works on that for you?
Self.
Books.
On our own. You do your own research.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
Well, you've never said that way before. I know. I'm saying that way now.
Yeah.
See, I'm waiting for the research article or the book that tells me I'm wrong and I've been doing this the wrong. It just keeps telling me, no. You don't, when I try to do this or this, when I'm here, oh yeah. So imagine your information system now. See where it goes all throughout your body. Imagine if the dominant message within your information system is, you're not safe. You're not okay.
Mm.
Versus, you're safe, you're strong, you're filthy, you're okay. Could you see there'd be a problem in this living system if the dominant message is you're not safe, you're not okay? Because then the parts would have to respond to all of that, and the power wouldn't be as effective because everybody is freaked out.
Mm.
That's what I want you to understand. But if the information is, no, you're strong, you're safe, you're calm, you have shalom, you're breathing, you're okay, it's safe. Then the parts and the nutrition, the eating, the power is all going to work a whole lot better when this system is in calm, rest, digest, and peace. Does that make sense so far? So now let's start moving as far as unstuck. Why am I stuck? What do I need to focus on? Do I need more part doctors? Do I need a better nutrition? Or should I keep working on my information system and making sure it's happy and strong?
Mm.
Now that I'm aware of that there's a gorilla in the room, right? Now that I'm aware of it.
Right.
And so, no talk is complete without the garden hose.
Yeah.
So, grass, a plant, it needs all kinds of parts and design to work together. But if I stress out any of the parts, or the power or the information for a plant, it goes from green to what?
Brown.
I trained you also.
Yeah.
My work has not been in vain. So if I kink the hose, the problem is that shuts down the water, and that sends a stress message to the green grass, and it has to warn me that the information is the green grass that says, I am not safe. I am not okay. I'm going to turn brown as a response to the bad messages, the lack of water. It is no longer getting to me. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I told my wife, I said, I'm going deeper down the green grass hole. She goes, well, I said, no, really, it's making more sense to me. So the stress message is turning brown. Ergo, when you have stress on your information system, it's really hard for you to be able to poop, eat, or sleep. Feel good, feel safe, feel okay. Because your parts, that's not necessarily the problem. The fuel isn't always the problem, but it's the information problem first. Then all the other parts begin to shut down. The parts are attached to the message of the information, right? If I cut the nerve going to your heart right now, it's going to stop. Nothing wrong with your heart. I mess with the information from the brain to the heart. Gut-brain connection. If I mess with the nerve supply going from your brain to your gut, and I cut it, your gut's fine. But it's going to now express itself in ways you're not going to like because there's a disconnection in the connection system. Okay? And what's it going to feel? Oh, I'm not safe. I'm disconnected. I'm not okay. So your gut is paying attention to how you're doing today. How's your thoughts? Have you had any spicy Cheetos and Mountain Dew today?
Good.
Or are you happy today? Did someone trigger you? Did someone cut you off in traffic? Did someone say they hated you today? Are you feeling bad about yourself? Your gut is listening to all of that. And you're either going to feel good about yourself and feel safe and feel okay, or you're going to feel, I'm not safe. I'm not okay. And sometimes we don't know why the trigger is there. It can be there physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. But being aware of that, I'm not okay. And I'm not going to have a good day unless I figure this out. What do I need to do? And your gut and all your hormones are all paying attention. So, leaky gut syndrome. That's what happens after a while when you're not eating, sleeping, or pooping on a happy, healthy basis. What happens is that things like triggers. So what can trigger my gut to feel not okay, or my gut to be disconnected, or not feel safe, and therefore let me know? Well, diet has an effect, but so do antibiotics. What do we do to children when they're sick? Ears, nose, throat. We don't necessarily help their nerve system be more calm. We just give more antibiotics at 3 years, and at 5 years, and at 10 years. And do they grow out of it? No, they grow into behavior. They grow into the different names. And I never give your child a name except Bob or Susie or whatever their name is, because I see them perfectly, wonderfully made in God's image. But infections and medications and alcohol and overstimulated brain responses. Yeah, get into that more. Toxins, right? All this sends a message to your information system and says, we're not safe, we're not okay. So therefore, that causes your gut lining to inflame. You have inflammation. That's the response of scared messages. As that inflammation grows, then these gaps that should keep the boogeyman out start to open up and allow all these toxins and all these chemicals into now past the gut, which they shouldn't go past, and now they leak, your gut leaks, and that gets into your blood. That message to your blood says, we need to attack. So now the autoimmune thing begins to happen. Making sense so far? Say Yahoo.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got triggers, we've got gut, and then it lets it into the bloodstream. And that's where it goes. It breaches that barrier, it inflames. Now you have your body trying to attack you because it sees the foreign invaders, and then it spreads even further. So, gut-brain disorders is a trifecta. Like, what's causing all this? First of all, is it your genes? There is a genetic predisposition. You can blame your grandparents and your parents a little bit. But after age 25, the responsibility is on you. Okay? It's on you. So then there's an environmental area. So all of these, though, genetics and environment, more than environment, can help your body feel okay, not okay. Over time, if we don't get eating and sleeping and pooping on a regular track and basis, I just had a great talk with a teacher. And she's like, I just want my kids to drink their water, eat their healthy snacks, and poop on a daily basis. They are a whole different student when that's happening. And I suspect the same thing. If my wife, I won't say that, if my husband is sleeping, eating, and pooping on a regular basis, that should be a happier marriage. Same with my kids, right? So, when there's overriding of stress, how? C-sections, antibiotics, medications, poor diet, chronic stress, alcohol, altered vagal tone, we'll talk about that in a minute. All that makes your body, sends a message that I'm not safe. These things are not made to be natural. Therefore, when I put an unnatural thing, a man-made thing in my body made by God, I don't feel safe. And the more I do that, even more and more and more I don't feel safe. So that causes my gut to respond and my gut to attack, and they call you leaky gut. If that doesn't get better, then it turns into more hypersensitivity, and now we got leaky brain because it goes up. And once it hits the brain, now it controls everything. It hits the fuse box. So, what are some signs, Dr. Joe? What are some brown grass signs? Again, you're made to be green grass. But if you have these signs, it means you're brown grass, and we need to unstick you and get you going back to green grass. Well, that would look like bloating or gas or cramps. I thought it was just normal. No, it doesn't have to be there. You're stuck. It doesn't have to be there. Food allergies and sensitivities, right? IBD, IBS, hormonal issues, PMS, PCOS, thyroid, skin conditions, inflammatory acne, inflammation. These are all signs that your gut-brain connection is kinked, and now your body doesn't feel safe, neither does your nerve system, your information system, and now your body's attacking you. You don't grow out of it if this is not reconnected and we don't get you unstuck. Now it grows into leaky brain where now you're exhausted all the time. Fibromyalgia, brain fog, mood issues, anxiety, depression, ADHD, neuro developmental issues, ADD, ADHD, right? Your son or daughter's either a raging bull or a drunken bull that's not coordinated, or they're a little bit of both depending on the day. And the autoimmune disease. Again, the parts are fine, the fuel, but it's the information system, when it's not corrected, doesn't change the message, not safe, not safe, not okay, not okay. The body has to react to help give a warning, 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 brown grass, brown grass, brown grass, because if not, it grows into rotten grass and then dead grass. So, top 7 areas that send a I'm not okay message to my nerve system or to my information system. Well, gluten in most grains, because again, they're not in a natural form. They're in a man-made form. Sugar and artificial sweeteners, again, man-made stuff stresses out your information system. Conventional meat, right? Meat that's made in corporately, right? In feedlots, stuff like that. Not grass-fed, not grass-finished. Not out on the range where you shoot the elk. Where's Larry? Okay, I got you.
There you go.
Conventional dairy, which means it looks white, it's in a milk jug, but that's not milk. Just ask your brain, ask your immune system, ask your body. Refined vegetable oils. Again, vegetables, man touches them, he makes them into oil. The brain can't recognize it, and it stresses out. Sorry. Genetically modified foods. You know what GMO stands for? God moved out.
There.
Tap water, pesticides. Again, when we put these in our bodies, not one Big Mac, I get it, right? Not one Coca-Cola. But when that becomes your daily routine, that's going to have a stress out message on your information system, and your parts aren't going to work like you want them to. They're going to start to attack you. So, what are foods? And then we've talked about this. Some of you have been to my makeovers. what happens is that it stops giving a stress message and starts giving a calm message now to your body. That's why we use it, right? But understand, it's parts, fuel or power, and information. So this is part of the fuel or part of the body. This doesn't necessarily reconnect the information. Because some of you are going to say, well, I'm doing all that, Dr. Joe. I know you are. But we need to keep working on your connection. That's what we really need. So bone broth is good. Raw cultured organic dairy, fermented vegetables, coconut products, sprouted seeds, organic grass-fed beef, lamb, or elk, or deer, or bear, whatever you guys shoot. And then wild-caught salmon. All these have a completely different message to your nerve system and to your immune system and to your ability to eat, sleep, and poop than these ones over here. That's why there's a difference. They're not all the same. And so this is your autonomic nerve system. This is the big deal. This runs everything inside your body. Right now your heart's beating, your lungs are breathing. If you cut your finger, it's on autopilot. It's already working. This is your autonomic nerve system. This is what gets hurt. When this thing is happy, then your body is happy. When this thing is stressed out, then this is what happens. When you're stressed out, physical, emotional, chemical stress bombards you, it flips you into fight, flight, and freeze. Great if a bear is chasing you, you got to run away. It's not wrong to be here for 5 minutes, maybe for 5 hours. 5 days, woo, 5 months, 5 years. Now you're exhausted. Now you can't eat, sleep, or poop because your body is stuck right here. You're stuck here. This is where my dad was stuck. This is where Haley was stuck. And you no longer become yourself. So fight. Who can sleep when you want to fight? You can't sleep. Who wants to eat when you think you should be running? And who can poop when your whole nerve system is in freeze zone? That's where it's at. And you're just trying to survive. And your behavior then acts that out as well. It's like the filter is off your brain. It's like, oh, everybody for themselves. So now your behavior becomes erratic. But when what happens is what we do here, when we start to unstick that nerve system, that information system, and get like Haley and get her moving in the right direction where God designed her, your body flips over to now this parasympathetic, where now it's all about growth and potential. What's the potential that God put in your body? My father, I love him to death, but he didn't reach his full potential with life and how it could have been for him, right? He could still be here today. So when you come here, what we do is get you out of this and get you back over here. And you only use this when you need to. But you don't live there.
Right.
So, and again, as we kept digging and digging and digging, looking for solutions and answers, it kept going back to the nerve system. Specifically, this thing called your vagus nerve. So, your autonomic nerve system is your information system. It helps you know if you're okay or not okay based on your environment. Okay? A little bit of genes, but mostly your environment. But they really found all these smart scientists that it's your vagus nerve connection to the brain and digestive system that really decides on what kind of eating, sleeping, and pooping day you're going to have. And so this is your vagus nerve. It's cranial nerve 10. Okay? Some of you nerdy people knew that. But look where this thing goes. It goes a lot of places. Imagine you and your family in a car driving along this highway. But Dad is driving recklessly and crazy and at a higher speed than normal. Do you feel safe? No. That's what happened. And therefore, your whole body response will be different. White-knuckled, as someone told me they were driving back from Cleveland or somewhere. But what if you're in the car and your whole family and Dad's driving normal? And you're listening to your music and you're having a good time and you're playing this. That's a different journey, right? You're going to feel safe on that road. That's what your vagus nerve does. Depending on what kind of journey you're on right now today, your vagus nerve is going to tell everybody along the town, all the parts, how to respond. Freak out, white knuckle, or no, have fun. I mean, and all the research is like crazy. Stress alters that connection so you don't eat, sleep, and poop on a regular basis like you should be. That stress creates that inflammation in the gut and can lead to emotional depression because you don't feel good because you're not sleeping, you're not eating, you're not pooping. And your information system is like, oh no, Dad's going to kill us. Right. And then signs, how do you know? Well, I'm fine, okay. But how do you know whether this autonomic nervous system is even in trouble or not? Because you might have been stuck for so long, you're just thinking, this is just normal. This is how I am, right? So, in the beginning, when that first stress hits you, that's when the IBS and the diarrhea comes. That's when you're not sleeping, you're irritable, you have anxiety, you're sweating excessively, you're manic, your focus, your focus is off. Again, and all these neurodevelopment disorders come when you have a sensory processing problem. A sensory processing, the world around you is evil. It's not safe, and you're trying to fight off. And good luck trying to sit in school and learn, or church, when this is happening. Over time, to elevate this has to be put down and gone to sleep. So then that's where your nervous system now just becomes exhausted. It's like, Dad's driving crazy, but I don't care. I can't. I'm just going to go to sleep. If I wake up in heaven, fine. Right? So then you become constipated, depressed, hormonal issues, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia. They're all brown grass, rotten grass signs, warnings that my information system is not good. Thyroid, adrenals, immune, brain, moody, memory, okay? Autoimmune disease. You go to the store, Home Depot, and buy something you just bought 3 weeks ago. And then your immune system keeps attacking you. This is not a part problem. This is not a diet problem. This is an information nerve system problem. Okay? It's a nerve problem. And again, all the research. Autonomic dysfunction. It's there when you have rheumatoid arthritis. Autonomic stress is there when you have lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, cardiac problems, and it's sudden death risk. Autonomic nerve system stressed out in multiple sclerosis. Not bad diet, not a lack of exercise, not necessarily smoking. It's the information system that gets stressed out over time, causes these parts to freak out. Autonomic nerve system and Alzheimer's, right? Because what have they been giving you all these years? Like my dad, medications, shots, it's incomplete. And the brain says, I've had enough. And I'm just going to check out. Again, autonomic nervous system is stressed out when you have chronic fatigue syndrome. Autonomic nervous system is stressed out when you're not sleeping or fibromyalgia. And this one, he says, when we stimulate that vagus nerve, wow, things begin to change and things become unstuck when we stimulate that nerve system. They found that when you stimulate your vagus nerve, that has an anti-inflammatory response, not an inflammation response. So the gut now begins to go back to normal and not letting the toxins in. When you begin to stimulate that nerve system, it seems to be a good therapeutic target for inflammatory conditions. And that's when you're not eating, sleeping, or pooping, that's an inflammatory process. So when you stimulate that vagus nerve, now the eating and the sleeping and the pooping and all that stuff, the autoimmune stuff, now begins to calm down. When you stimulate your vagus nerve, things begin to rest. Things begin to become calm. And that's what we all need. Okay? So the last thing as I wrap this up, would you like the first step to unsticking yourself and moving in the right direction? Right? That's who wants some of that. Okay, good. So we're no longer going to be there. You don't have to be there. And we can now get you going this direction. So before you leave, I'll give you what your next step is to get there and to live there and to stay there. And you have to fight to stay here just as much as you have to fight to get out of there. So here are 9 things that you can do to stimulate your nerve system, right? I'm going to give you 10, but there's 9 ways that you can stimulate your nerve system, okay? The first one is get out and have some positive social relationships, okay? If you're over age 25. If you're under age 25, then boys are yucky. Stay away from the girls, okay? Cold, right? Go out and jump in a cold bath if you want to. I have a hard time, though, turning that nice, warm, hot shower.
Yeah, that's a cold.
I'm like, turn it to cold, it's good for you. I said, no, it's not good for me. That stresses me out if I do that, right? Gargling. Everybody, can you gargle? Somehow, maybe it makes a funny sound and you laugh. I don't know why, right? But gargling has a positive effect on your vagus system, okay? Singing and chanting and humming, right? So going to church or singing a song, whether it's either, it doesn't matter if it be good or bad, but singing. You can do this in your car. A massage has a positive effect on your vagus nerve system. Laughter. I already told you my dad joke, so that's good. You already got that one there, right? Yoga and Tai Chi, because you're moving and you're de-stressing yourself. Breathing in. Everybody breathe in. Let it out. Breathe in again. Let out. Look, you're all improving your vagus system. That's right. Now you'll be able to eat or sleep or poop today. That's good. Good job. Give yourself a hand.
Yay.
And then exercise. Exercise. We work out here on Saturday mornings. It's getting really good. Some serious tough exercise too. But all this has a positive effect on your vagus nerve system, and it keeps you moving, unstuck in life, right? But some people say, oh, I did all that. My friend was doing all that, and they still had chronic, or the autoimmune disease still attacked. I get it. It's because this always works on the parts or the power, the fuel, but it doesn't really get to the cause of the disconnection. So that's why I'm now having better words and language to let you know that I am a neuro-focused chiropractic care. That I'm not just here to rack and crack you about back pain, neck pain. I need to get that nerve system of yours and brain to calm down so that you can eat, sleep, and poop and get healthy. I need to help your nerve system calm down so that we can keep you unstuck and get you going back the right direction. Because that's really what you're doing when you come here. You spent years stuck. You got unstuck and go, oh, after that adjustment, I felt like a Mack truck hit me. I know. Your body's waking up. Welcome back to reality. And now we're going to get you moving the right direction. What's he doing when he does that click, click, click? I'm calming your nerve system. You don't need the rope pull in like that. You need a specific adjustment. That's why I do it the way I do it, because it's neurobrain focused. Okay? And ever since I've been here, that's what you got. I may not have had the language to say that, but that's what we got. So, what is this verbal subluxation thing? This is when you get a kink in the hose on your information system, and when that gets damaged, everything begins to go. That's why you're not eating, sleeping, pooping. And a baby, that's why they're not latching or swallowing or eating. It's not tongue-tied. It's the fact that the nut got turned. I'm giving away the punchline. But there's stress on the nerve system, and we call that technically a vertebral subluxation. So, and what causes it is stress. Yes, mental stress, right? Mom and dad are fighting while the baby's in the womb, right? Mom and dad's fighting while you're standing right there. Chemical stress, right? Toxins, right? We blame the gluten, all that toxins, that V word that they'll get kicked off Facebook if I say it, right? But the physical stress is really what comes first. Here's what happens. They did research on 1,000 infants and found that 80% of them had a kink on their nerve system through the birth process. The birth process, even when it's natural, still can have damage on your information system, but it escapes diagnosis because we just aren't unaware of that. So to show you what I'm talking about, this is a C-section, okay? All I want you to look at is what happens to the head and neck. And if this is how you were born, or forceps, vacuum extraction, cesarean section, breech birth, I love you. I'm glad you're here today. But I would much rather your mommy and daddy, as soon as you were born, like Lindsay does, brings their babies right to Dr. Joe, and we adjust them so that we can get them out of, I'm not okay, I'm not safe, back into, oh, I'm okay. I'll be safe. But this is how many of us have gone through this, and yet we're not eating, we're not sleeping, we're not pooping, and we don't find Dr. Joe until we're 30, 40, 50 years old. And why am I here? Why am I still stuck? This is a pretty good reason why. Just watch this. Now,
Oh,
that procedure's not going down. That procedure's going up. So when you look at all the children, and at least 80% of them had that done to their neck, might that cause a kink on their hose? Yes. Right? How do you know? Well, if the baby starts to have a sick right away, they're colicky, they're not thriving, they're not latching, or they're not breastfeeding, they're not sleeping, they're not pooping, that's a sign you need to get to Dr. Joe's right away. The problem is, some of you have lived with this for the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and you just thought this is how God made you. Birth trauma. Or your dad, your dad was holding you and all of a sudden accidentally fell. Or your uncle says, oh, look at the baby, all this here. But when you go to hand your new baby to somebody who doesn't, like to Jesse, okay, you say, watch the head, right? And then Jesse just does this. It's so funny. You just watch it, right? But we guard the head, right? But big hands, forceps, pull and stretch, opertocin, right? And then now that storm begins, because now the baby's literally like this, kinked. This neck won't turn, so things back up, ears, nose, throat. They won't latch because the jaws aren't connected, are stressed. They can't swallow because of the stress. And now this baby's life turns, right? And that's where it happens. And you've all been through that. All of you been through the birth process. At least once. So how do we find that on children? We have a computer in our office that does thermography. It's very simple, very easy. Babies sleep through this. We scan their nerve system, and we look for that stress. White tells us the nerve system's happy and okay. Red means severe stress. Blue is moderate stress. Green is mild stress. But we can see whether that nerve system's okay or not okay. And we use the leading cut technology. But in adults or older children, we find out, okay, is there a kink in the hose? Because it's negatively impacting your information system and it's neurologically stressing you out. That's the problem. It's not a bad diet. It's not necessarily stinking thinking. That all comes afterwards, but until your neurology gets stressed, then it all begins to fall apart. When you have a kink in the nerve system because of birth trauma or because of slips and falls, that has negative neuroplastic, which means your brain gets stuck and it doesn't change. Your brain's supposed to change. Your vagus nerve gets stressed out, so you don't feel okay about yourself. You don't feel safe. Your brainstem decreases the blood flow, more inflammation. Cerebrospinal fluid doesn't flow, and you have tension on the nerve system. All that shuts down your information system. That's not good for you. For today's talk, that means that's why you're not eating, sleeping, or pooping like you're supposed to, because your information system is mad at the doctor who just pulled too hard on your neck when you were born. You just can't verbalize that. So, our daughter, as I was going back to this, I'm like, poop, this is our daughter. Got pregnant, then we got married. A little stressed there, but I loved her and she wasn't getting away from me. Right? She felt the same way about me too. But birth trauma, falls, and then your daughter, who's perfectly normal, has seizures. Seizures is like the brain saying, I am not okay and I am not safe. And I am shutting this party down right now. The problem is it would shut the party down hundreds of times a day and 40 times with grandma's seizures. And we couldn't find anything wrong. We looked at, we went physically, emotionally, spiritually. We went and looked for demons. We went and looked for faith. We went and looked for toxins. We looked at all this stuff. Detox, changed the diet. We did everything. But we couldn't see anything, and I wasn't aware of anything until I took her x-ray and I marked the x-ray, like we do with you. We marked, if you can't find it, you can't fix it. So we have to measure it. So we looked at her first x-ray at 17, not 7 months. We didn't know this stuff. We weren't aware of the gorilla.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
But took the x-ray, 35 is idea, she was at 15. Dr. Pettibon said, well, there's your sign. That's why her nerve system's not okay, not happy, and giving you the seizures. Okay? I'm not afraid of epilepsy. The brain's just trying to tell me a story. The problem is in this world, we want to take half the brain out, and it still doesn't fix the problem. Mm-hmm. Fixing the spine changes the information system, and then changes The body's like, oh, now I'm unstuck. Thank you. Now I'm okay. Now I'll live. Now I'll stop having seizures. Okay, good. And then when we look, this is not her, but when we look at from the front, so we can see on an x-ray whether your vagus nerve system is stressed or not stressed. It's real simple. Is your spine on the red line? If it is, great. If it's going off to the right, then your nerve system is stressed. And you may not be eating, sleeping, or pooping. You may not like yourself. You may have all those different symptoms. But where do we go before we change anything else? We go here first. And again, all the research. And again, Dr. Joe, you're just saying that because you're a chiropractor. It can't be that simple. We've been to doctor. We've done this and this and that, and we're still, I get it, but are you getting your spine corrected by a neuro-focused chiropractor? Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I'm seeing you. Maybe we need to see you twice a week or 3 times a week. Because your stress in your life needs to be less than what the stress in your body. Maybe you need to do more of the home exercises, right? We need it, but the solution is in the nerve system. Because every thought, every memory, everything about you is being held captive there. We need to release it and let it. And how do we know it's relaxed? Because you're pooping and you're eating and you're sleeping. So, all the research says, yeah, when you get chiropractic care, your vagus tone and your automatic nerve system gets better. When you start getting adjusted, your vagus nerve starts to get happy, and now you start pooping, eating, and sleeping. That gut-brain connection starts getting better. That inflammation begins to decrease because your vagus nerve gets stimulated when you get adjusted, and things begin to get better. Okay? That when you start getting adjusted and your nerve system changes, your brain literally begins to change, and it has a sympathetic relaxation. Ah, the bear's no longer chasing me. Okay. And it helps your prefrontal cortex, which is what makes all your decisions. And when that's happy and it's not stressed, then you're able to perceive your environment. And that's important because when your brain changes, then your emotions go from stuck to unstuck. And the real you comes out. Not the one that was told to sit down and be quiet and don't talk unless you're talking. You know, now the real you comes out. I'm not saying sometimes you become more socially accepted. The real you comes out, right? And that's okay. Not the medicated you. You go from inflammation to de-inflammation. You go from hormones out of balance to hormones in check. You go from bad digestion, eating, sleeping, and pooping, now to where you can go out and be peaceful. You don't get sick, colds, and flus anymore, or your immune system doesn't attack you, and now you're performing. How do you know, Dr. Joe? I've been to 2 Olympics. My patients win gold medals. They perform really, really well. All the children that come here get the best grades. They're the healthiest kids in the world. I stuck that sign on that door saying the healthiest families in the world come here, and I meant it, and I'm just proving it to you tonight. So, as I wrap this up, this is where you were. This is maybe someone where you love is there. This is where my dad was. This is where Haley was. And now we want to get you here. And does it work? Absolutely. This is Melanie. She was stuck in anorexia. She was told she was never going to have kids. Just take this medication. She came in. We found where her nerve system was stuck. We started adjusting her. I mean, imagine not being able to... Imagine one thing, being told as a teenage girl that you could never have children. So you might as well not even get, whatever. Speak that over you. Then imagine, all of a sudden you get married, now you're pregnant. When you were told you would never get pregnant. Now you have 3 kids. When you told you never have kids. I think the doctor, whoever told her she's not going to have kids, has to pay for the kids' diapers and all the other stuff, right?
Yeah.
She's like, hey, marry me. We never are going to have any kids. And now she has 3. And they're wonderful, and they're all grown. But it was the information system that was stressed. And then we changed that, and she got unstuck and got better. Carol, imagine having autoimmune rheumatoid, painful arthritis, and all you get is more of these medications that completely whack out your immune system and cause more autoimmune disease. So she was living stuck, and she came in, and we found it on her nerve system, and it was being stressed. We just simply started to take the stress off. And now she shows up every Saturday and kicks our butt in the workouts, right? And her biggest fear was not being able to get off the floor. Now she can pop right up, no problem, right? Pat. And again, they all come in with back pain. But then I find out, oh, my depression's better. Oh, I used to live in this fog. Well, how did that happen? Did you adjust the depression button? No, we took stress off the nerve system, and all of a sudden her smile returned. Bobby, right? You guys know Bobby. She's like, oh, I gotta go to this cookout, but I gotta eat barbecue chicken, but, and that's not, I know it's not Bobby, protecting her identity, right? And then she gets adjusted and goes, oh, my God, I'm gonna go tear up some barbecue chicken today. Because she didn't feel like eating. She was not having a happy day. Now she can. Kathy was dealing with fibromyalgia. I mean, imagine, I turned 60 and I still have a man bun. Imagine turning 40 but feeling like you're 60. And you're on these medications and your joints are hurting. I mean, imagine living like that and they just tell you, no, here's more medication. Get used to it. You'll be like this the rest of your life. Or a child, nope, they're just sick, make plans, put them in an institution when they get older because you're just not going to. And the stress is right there the whole time in the nervous system because they're not aware of it. So if they're not aware of it, then you're never going to have children again. You might as well just, whatever. And we can't believe that story. Remember who you're made for. So she came in, and again, broken record. There was a sign on your nervous system. Her numbers were horrible on her x-rays. We started adjusting it. Nervous system got, and now the fibromyalgia got better. Nicole, COVID was hard on pregnant mommies as far as stress. And Facebook's even harder because they compare their lives to, I don't know why I'm holding my baby the whole time. But fear, nerve system, not okay, can't keep up with the expectations of what life puts on me because I'm just trying to compare myself to everybody else. We made her come in every day. I'm like, Nicole, get in here tomorrow. Well, I'm like, no. And now she's a completely different mom. She's working out, she's having fun, her life has changed. And now her kids smile more too because they're connected to mom. And it's getting better. So this research says when you get chiropractic care, it's not just that your back gets better. Why? Because it's not about back pain, it's about your nerve system. So yes, we see autonomic issues, endocrine issues, heart issues, immune issues, breathing issues, neurocognitive issues, right? Sensory processing disorders, stress. You're able to get pregnant, so women, be careful. You've been warned. You get healthy, watch out. But if you're never had a scan if you're a child or an x-ray of your nerve system, then, and most of you here are patients except two. You're like, who is this guy? Excuse me. Then we're going to invite you to come get an x-ray to see whether your nerve system's happy or sad. Is it stressed out or not stressed out? Find out. You don't even have to have any symptoms. You might be pooping just fine. That's fine. But we live in a world where eventually it'll affect how you poop. Not good. So normally we do an examination. We want to hear your story. I want to see neurologically what's been happening. When are you stressed out? How's it going? What's happening with you? What's important to you? Where do you want to be at? Do you feel like you're stuck right now? And do you want to get unstuck? Well, let me help you. First thing we do is we do an exam, neuro-focused exam, to see if your nervous system's happy or sad or freaked out. Then we take x-rays because your posture is going to show us, I'm not happy, or no, it's good, I'm grooving, I'm good. If we see this, then we can't leave it that way, and we'll figure out a plan to get it better. Normally, that visit is $199. We do it for $99. All I ask is that you just get up today in a minute, make an appointment, and pay, and we'll get you scheduled because it's Christmas and we want to make sure you have time to get you better. Okay? That goes for anybody else in your family. Newsflash. If there's anybody in your home that's freaked out, it makes me crazy. I don't verbalize it. That was the hard part about turning 60, is that I know you're here getting adjusted, but they're at home stuck. And maybe I haven't done a good enough job saying I want to meet them and I want to serve them and we'll figure out all the other stuff getting in the way. But I want your family strong. I don't want your family stuck like my dad was. I want them free and living healthy, and we can help that nerve system, right? Now, if you're here like, well, I'm getting adjusted, I'm doing everything you say, what's in it for me? Then take a picture of this. This is a questionnaire you can do online. Some of you have already done it online. I get it. But really what it's measuring is, okay, is it your spine where the majority of the neural balance is off? Is it your thought process that's causing your body to be out? Okay, is it your food that's causing your nerve system to be stressed? Are there toxins there that need to be detoxed? Or is it because you're not moving on a consistent basis? Because all those 5 things have an impact on your ability to sensory process and whether you can sleep, eat, or poop. Okay? But the number one thing is your nerve system. So if you are coming here, we may need to talk about upping your visits each week to help your nerve system calm down, because you might be grieving right now or going through a hard season. And I get it. But the solution is not in a magic pill or a magic bottle or a magic drug. The solution is tapping back into that goodness that God put in your body and just help you get unstuck from this season that you're stuck in right now. And so if you know someone or you want to set up an appointment for someone to come and get examined x-ray, see Jesse or Heather. If you don't know how to work a phone and take a picture, Heather or Eileen can help you take a picture of that. You can fill it on your phone. Once you fill it out, it's 100 questions. There's no, it's like some of the questions throw you off on purpose, so it doesn't be perfect, right? Just do your best. Then you'll set an appointment with me and we'll meet individually and we'll check in. And I'll give you a better plan to continue to unstick you and keep you going, because I want you all living over here. I want you here where my dad couldn't go. I want you here. This is where God wants you. This is where we all want you. This is where your wife wants you, okay? Your kids want you. This is where your dog and cat want you. Nice and happy and strong. Pooping and eating and sleeping on it. So, it's exactly 1 hour. So be respectful of your time. We're going to dismiss in a second, okay? Patients, do your thing, or make an appointment for somebody up there. I'll stick around. So if you have any questions, I'll stick around. You can come up here and ask me. But just know that I love you and I appreciate you, and I will see you on your next visit, okay? Give yourself a hand for being here. Woo!